What's up, Instagram? How y'all doing today? I'm back. So today, y'all, we talking about mistakes. Yes, I wanted to get on here and talk about some mistakes that we might make as brand new business owners. And so I want to share that information so you guys that are starting your own business don't end up making these same mistakes. So the first one is, you start a business and you don't have a business plan. All right, that's the first one. Many entrepreneurs jump into business without a clear strategy. And that leads to confusion and financial struggles and just a headache. Okay? So you definitely want to, do your research before you start the business. Have your target audience, have your business plan set up. And I'm not just saying have your business plan set up. I'm saying in all the stuff that you need in your business plan. So that's competitors. You need to know in your business who's your competitors, right? Who are you going to be competing with? You need to know that. You need to know what else? Your financial projections, right? So what do you see yourself making in the first year? What do you see yourself making in the next 3 years? How are you going to make that? Okay, so you need to break that down in your business plan. So don't just put in there, oh, I see myself making $100,000. No, we need to know how. So that means, okay, I'm going to say, I'm just use my cleaning business for an example. We're going to get 2 government contracts that's going to pay us such and such. And I'm going to have 10 residential clients and 5 commercial clients. And I'm going to charge them this much. And that's how I'm going to get to this $100,000 by the end of the year. Okay. So have your business plan in detail. Okay. It needs to be in detail. And a lot of people, they want to just get on ChatGPT and, do a business plan. But there's a lot of things that you need to know about a business plan before you just put it in ChatGPT in order to, have them type it up. ChatGPT can help, but you still need to do your research. You need to know these things off the head, right? If you do it on ChatGPT, then it doesn't allow you to do the research about your market, know your market share, right? Is this even are you going into a market that's even profitable, right? And if it's not profitable, how are you going to make money? What sets you apart from the other competitors? Like when I did my research on cleaning, what I found is that in the up and coming years, everybody's transitioning into eco-friendly products, right? So I don't just have a regular cleaning company. It's Eco State of Mind. That means that it is an eco-friendly cleaning business, meaning we only use products that are safe, right? So we're not coming to your house with Clorox and bleach and all of that, right? We use eco-friendly products. So that sets us apart from all of the regular cleaning companies, right? Because they probably just use regular cleaning products. So that's an example right there. You want to be able to set yourself apart in the market. And then also know your market share. So if the market is at a 6 or 9% growth, how much of that do you think you're going to be able to allocate in your business, right? So that's why I say the business plan is very important. And a lot of people just start, they go get the LLC and they just start, and it's okay to just start, right? Because you can learn as you go. You're going to learn as you go, but you're going to end up making mistakes that you could have avoided had you done some research, had you, just took your time with it and kind of, gain some knowledge and some skills in the industry before you just start the business. So that's one of the things that a lot of people do when they become business owners is they do not have a business plan, and not just a regular business plan, an in-depth business plan, right? Step-by-step business plan. That is what's needed. All right. And so I also want to say that, you know, all of this stuff is very much accessible. Okay. You don't have to go to some college or, you know, pay thousands of dollars to get the information on your business. A lot of stuff you can just Google, right? So it doesn't cost you anything to go ahead and do the research and go ahead and figure out what is needed in your business plan. All right. And I also want to add to that. So business plan is one thing, but what if you want to get funding, right? So you need a business plan to get funding. You don't have a business plan, you're not getting any funding. And then when it comes to a lot of grants and loans, guys, loans you're going to get based off your credit or based off your business financial projections. Okay. Or if you get a grant, then 9 times out of 10, you're going to compete with somebody else, or they might have you come up and show a slide deck. They might have you show a presentation. You might have a grant competition. So you also want to prepare yourself for that type of environment as well. So that's why I said when you start with your business plan, it's best for you to know this stuff off the brain. So then that way, if you do get an opportunity to get a grant, it's $250,000 or whatever, you're not thrown away because you don't know what you're doing, right? So you got all this pressure on you because you just don't know what to do. So that's why I say have an in-depth business plan, a very in-depth business plan, a step-by-step, year-by-year, and if you need to, month by month, right? It's your business plan. You can tailor it. You can tailor it, and how should I say this? Get it to your liking. All right, do your business plan to your liking. All right, there's no right way to do it as long as you have the main things like your SWOT analysis. You want to have your market analysis. You want to know your financial projections. You want to have your mission statement. You want to have your executive summary. You know, all those things, right? So you want to have all of that in your business plan. And again, this is going to take time, guys. So, you know, you don't want to just go to ChatGPT. You're going to end up having to go backwards. So do things the right way the first time, and then that way you don't have to, you know, go backwards in your business or end up making a mistake because you didn't have a business plan. And so going forward into funding, that's what I wanted to get into when I was telling you about having a slide deck. So if you have a slide deck presentation and you can, you know, put a slideshow up to show your business and present your business to potential investors or people that are willing to give you a grant. You know, when you do grants, a lot of times they want you to have a business plan. They want to know where their money is going. Grants are free money that you don't have to pay back. It's not like a loan where they just giving you it all based off your paperwork, based off your financial projections or your credit. This is based off the business, right? When you have a grant, when you're looking for a grant, okay? So they're going to want you to write proposals. I mean, not proposals. I'm sorry. I'm still in government contractor, okay? They're going to want you to do presentations. You might be competing with other people, other businesses for this grant money. So that's going to set you apart if you have all these things done, and you're going to be able to apply for these things right away because you have it in your business plan. So you don't have to scramble to try to put this stuff together. You're going to get this slide deck and everything with your business plan, and that's going to allow you to move forward a little quicker. All right? So don't make the mistake of not having a business plan. Now, number two is mixing your personal finances with your business finances. Now, when it comes to social media, I'm all over the place, okay? I got stuff over there on that page, on my business page. I got, you know, whatever, right? In real life, you cannot do that. You cannot do that in real life. And the main reason is because you lose your limited liability. You lose a lot of the coverages that you would normally have with you securing your business and getting your articles, that gives you protection, right? Your personal assets, the stuff that you have outside of the business, you want to keep that separate all the time, okay? So I always tell people, you know, you don't have to get a trust, but if you want to be able to have extra protection and double protection to secure your LLC and yourself, you need a trust. So you go get your trust set up before you would apply for your LLC, and then that way your LLC you would already have established your trust. So when you go to file for your LLC, it will be in the trust name and not in your name. Okay? And so that's how you want to do it to keep your liability down, you know, all that stuff. Nobody wants to get sued. And if they do get sued, okay, that's the business. I don't want you to come take my house, my car, my bank account, my personal stuff that I have for myself. I definitely don't want that to be touched. So you need to make sure in business that you make sure you keep your liability. And if you mix your personal with your business, you will not have that coverage any longer. Okay? That's scary to me, y'all. That's why I was stuttering. Hold on, wait a minute. You know, so you want to be very careful, you know, because all of this has a lot of legal stuff that's going on. And, you know, every business owner should have a lawyer or somebody that they can call and talk to this about. Another thing I'm going to say, 3 things you should have: a lawyer, an accountant, and what's the other one? And a CPA. Wait, that's accountant. The person that's going to allow you to run your business on the administrative side. Okay? So you need those 3 people. Those 3 people. Okay? You really need those 3 people, because if you don't have, especially when you start making money, if you make anything over maybe like $175,000, I would say anything under $170,000, you kind of on the safe side. But once you start making over $170,000, you need to have an accountant, you need to have a lawyer, and you need to make sure you set up your systems like CRMs and stuff like that. Okay? So, because a lot of it, you know, I said that with the CRM because a lot of people, you know, they have issues with their customers, and you piss off a customer, you know, then they're going to be mad. So you need to make sure you have all your customers in a database where you're able to contact them, you're able to reach them, and you have somebody that is doing the customer service end if you're not doing it, so that you can, you know, keep a good relationship with your customers, because ultimately that's how you get sued. You know, no communication, you know, you did something, it was a mistake. You know, a lot of times if you communicate with your customer, you can avoid, you know, mishaps or, you know, the relationship going bad. You know what I mean? So it's very important to keep your customers happy. All right. Of course, they're paying your bills at the end of the day. So, you know, you should appreciate their service. You should appreciate them, you know, choosing you over other people, you know, so be very appreciative of your customers in business. And you need to have very good customer service. If you're not a customer service person, hire somebody. Hire somebody that is, okay? And that will allow you to keep your business top tier. All right? So no mixing personal with business finances. You will lose your liability coverage, and using personal accounts for business expenses creates accounting problems and tax complications. So say for instance, you mix your personal bank account stuff with your business bank account stuff. Now when you go and file your taxes, a lot of stuff, if you don't have an S corp, which I do, a lot of people, once you start really making money, I say like $50,000. Once you start making about $50,000 to $75,000, you should just go ahead and turn your LLC into an S corp. Okay, that will avoid a lot of tax liabilities, a lot of all that stuff. It is more paperwork than it will be for an LLC, but it's worth it as far as the taxes go. Okay, and accounting and all that stuff. All right, so make sure you have an accountant. Make sure you are not mixing that, because if you do, then your accountant won't be able to give you certain tax deductions you won't qualify for. All kinds of stuff can come up. You know, I haven't had that issue yet, so or I'm not gonna have that issue. I'm gonna say, yeah, oh goodness, please, I want no tax problems. Please, I want no tax problems, okay? So just keep stuff in order. And I can give you guys resources. Like I use QuickBooks for my business. QuickBooks is really good. You can attach it to your bank account, and then that way it keeps up with everything. And, if there's anything personal or, you can keep it separate by having QuickBooks. Okay, QuickBooks is other different type of apps that you can use if you don't want to pay for an accountant that may allow you to do this on your own. But basically the computer and the QuickBooks app, what's the word I'm trying to come up with? It allows you to optimize, okay? You will be able to optimize your systems, right? Like creating a funnel. Instead, you're allowing the QuickBooks to put all the taxes together. You can send invoices. If you have, clients, like when I do my cleaning company, sometimes I have to send invoices in order to, keep up with my business, right? So then my taxes come out and all that kind of stuff. So you need to have invoices. QuickBooks does that. So definitely get you a QuickBooks. If you are a business owner, this will allow you not to make the second mistake of mixing your personal and your business, okay? And so I want to stay on track here, guys. So number 3 is underestimating startup costs. So this is huge, guys. When you starting your business, say for instance, you doing a business like, what kind of business did I say it kind of costs a lot to start up? Most businesses don't cost that much to start up, but you want to be able to know your financials. All right, that goes with the business plan part. You want to know your financials. So many owners miscalculate their expenses and run out of capital, right? So say for instance, you start your business costs $1,000 and you only saved up that $1,000. You only had the $1,000 for the business. You're just trying to start. You didn't have any other extra funds. And now your launch date has to, wait because you did not calculate the startup costs in your business plan, right? So now, you didn't calculate the marketing, right? So now you can't start your business. You got your tools. You got your office set up, whatever business you have, to start. Maybe you just got the product, right? But you don't know how to market it. So now you got to pay for that. That's an unexpected expense. Say for instance, you get into the business of app development, right? And you want to develop apps and you think, this only gonna cost $1,000. And then an expense comes up that you had no idea about. And this is another one I want to say, because I made this mistake when I first started, guys. I made the mistake of not knowing that I need certain licenses and certifications for my business. All right. So I made that mistake too, guys. Coming into the business, I didn't know that you had to have certain licenses and certain permits to do certain things when you're cleaning, because my business is not just a cleaning, it's also landscaping. So cleaning, you don't really need any kind of, certifications or anything like that. But with landscaping, you do, right? You can't install certain things on people's lawns. You can't, really all you can do is to clean up and, freshen up. You can't, do the landscaping, like pull things out and recreate the entire environment. You need a permit, you need a license, you need a certification for that. So those things the unexpected costs that I had to come up with, because I didn't understand and do the research, all of the research in depth when I got my business plan going, when I started my business, right? So you definitely don't want to underestimate your startup costs. Know your licenses, know your certifications, know how much all that stuff is going to cost if your business requires that. And, just keep going forward from there, right? But like I said, avoid that by putting it in your business plan and doing that startup cost research so that you don't run into those unexpected costs. And now you can't launch your business because you have to come up with more money that you didn't account for. All right. So very important. Do not underestimate your startup costs. And next we got ignoring business credit and funding opportunities. So yeah, let's talk about that. So I always tell people, a lot of people don't want to start their business because they don't have money, right? I did not start my business with my own money. I started my business with a grant, a $5,000 grant that was able to help me start my business. My business is a cleaning business, so really only $1,000 to start up, right? But there were other things that I wanted to do in my business. I needed to get more education. I needed to get certifications and stuff like that. And so the business was set up as far as $1,000, but the other $4,000 allowed me to be able to, you know, get certifications, pay for a mentorship, pay for different things that you may need in because you're new, you're new in whatever industry it is. So, you want to avoid making mistakes, and you can do that by, paying for a mentor or, just having extra funds to be able to do that. And a lot of people can't do that just on their own 9 to 5. I was, just working a 9 to 5, and I was just making money from my cleaning company before I started it, just like cleaning parking lots and cleaning windows. So I didn't necessarily, it was a side hustle when I started it, right? So you definitely want to be able to rely on all the funding, okay? Like I always say, do not put all your eggs in one basket. That's financially as well. There's people out here that gives grants. There's loans out here. There's different things that you can do to get free money for your business that you don't have to pay back. And this will allow your business to scale quicker, right? Because you're not worried about the capital. You're not worried about how you're going to come up with the capital. And if you have a really good in-depth business plan, you'll be able to get the loan, you'll be able to get the grant, all of that stuff, right? And then you'll be looking up like, oh my God, I didn't even pay for all this, but I'm running a business, right? So that's so amazing, guys. That's so amazing. Definitely take advantage of other funding besides yourself, okay? This will allow you to have more longevity in your business as well, right? Because a lot of people tap out because they spend all their money. They spend all their money, right? Instead of using other people's money to keep you going. That way you keep your stuff in a bag. My mama always told me, keep your stuff tucked, all right? Keep your money saved, keep your house, keep your stuff, because you never know, what can happen. You don't want to lose your stuff, okay? So if you start a business with your own money and say you don't make any money the first year, you're probably going to tap out, right? Because you're using your own money, maybe thinking that, okay, I'm going to make this money back right away. What if that doesn't happen? Right? Now you don't want to do the business anymore, and you're probably, you just lose a lot of motivation. You know what I'm saying? So take advantage of all the funding, guys. They got SBA loans.gov. They got grants.gov. They got Galaxy Grants. I love Galaxy Grants. I got 2 grants from Galaxy Grants. So definitely check out Galaxy Grants. It's mostly for women, or it is all for women. It's for all women. There's no grants on there. Sometimes they do have grants that men may qualify for. And so that's another thing I want to say, guys. When we're talking about getting the funding and stuff like that, a lot of these grants and stuff like that, they want you to have those certifications, like your women-owned business certification, right? They want you to have your minority-owned business certification, or maybe I have a cleaning business, so they want you to have that ethics certification, right? All that kind of stuff. So depending on the field that you're going into, guys, make sure that your business plan, when you start off, includes ways for you to be able to get the funding without, making mistakes or, having issues. So that's one way, or it's 2 ways, loans and grants. Another way is credit. All right. You can start building business credit right away with your business. When you start your business, if you go ahead and purchase my business startup guide, I give you all the tea on how to start your business with a website, starting your business with the correct address, starting your business with the correct members, starting your business. What's the other one? with your Dun and Brads. You know, you need to have your Dun and Brads, and starting a business with building business credit, right? So that's another way to utilize your entity to be able to get money, okay, for your business. Credit. Make sure your credit is pretty good. First of all, you know, that's another thing that I would like to say is that a lot of people get into business. They want to rush in it right away. If you don't have good credit, and I'm not saying like you need to be at least a 7, at least 680. Nothing under 680, unfortunately, right? You need to be at a 680 before you start your business. And I'm just saying that if you're, you know, looking to use credit to build your business, all right? I did not use credit. I used grants when I started my business. So it's a lot of different ways to do that. There's no right or wrong way. You're going to do what works for you, okay? So if you want to go with the credit route, make sure when you start your business, your personal credit is at least a 680. So then you can start off your business credit. They will allow you to get your business credit on a personal guarantee. You don't have to use a personal guarantee, but you might be approved for a lot more different, like Chase and what's the other one? Citibank and Capital, all those different places that will allow you to get business credit. 9 times out of 10, they want you to have the personal guarantee, or they want your business to already be making money where you can show them the financial projections. So when you're first starting out, most of the time, it's going to be easier for you to just go for the grants and the loans because your credit is going to be good, and go ahead and start building your business credit from off of your personal credit if possible. You don't have to do it that way. You can start off with Dun and Brad's and, you know, go to Credit Wise. And there's other credit building apps and stuff like that I will have in the ebook, that I have in the ebook in my bio that you guys can go ahead and purchase. You don't have to do all the hard work. In my ebook, I broke everything down, very simple for you to be able to go ahead and start your business, all right? And it's okay if you don't have all of these things done, but just make sure that you check off the list before you get started so then you don't waste your time with this, okay? And you don't lose motivation and, you know, all this stuff that can happen that can like kick you down. You can avoid that kind of stuff, okay? So that's what I'm here for. I made mistakes, guys. So I want to be able to, you know, help the next person that's coming into business not make mistakes, because in business, guys, you make mistakes, it's going to cost you, right? It's going to cost you. It's not like, you know, it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you your business, and you will get fined for certain things. And you don't want to be fined, you know what I'm saying, for certain things with your business. That doesn't look good at all, right? That can mess up your business credit, all kind of stuff. It'll just be too much to be dealing with, okay? So I'm getting a headache thinking about it. So I don't want y'all to go through that. So just avoid, you know, not having a very in-depth business plan and having bad credit, all right? Moving forward. Failing to market the business effectively, all right? So I had an issue with this too, guys. I'm not a big internet person. I'm just starting to, you know, get out there. I did a lot of my marketing, word of mouth, 10 toes down. All right, out there networking. I went to networking events. I attended different groups. I attended different Zooms. I allowed my mentor to take me places. I did a lot of things like that in order to build my clientele. With government contracting, you really don't need to necessarily do the footwork, because you're just going to go on sam.gov, or you're just going to go find procurements and bid on them. And then that's how you will be able to get the government contracts. But as far as commercial and residential with the cleaning, yes, you need to do the footwork, and you need to have an online presence. Okay. So right now with my business, I have one government contract, and I have 1 or 2 commercial properties that I clean. I don't make that much money. So I want to be able to get more customers for my commercial and residential people. And then when I do that, I'll be able to have more money to go for another government contract. Okay? So guys, definitely know your business. Know your target audience so that you can meet them where they are. And a lot of people are on the internet. So not having a website, you're at a disadvantage. Not having social media, you're at a disadvantage. not having an online presence, period, you're going to be at a disadvantage, unfortunately, right? So we need to get comfortable with being online. You know, I'm a behind the scenes kind of girl, right? I'm very private, okay? I'm a behind the scenes kind of girl. I like to keep my finances private. I like to keep everything that I am doing very private. That's why I put a lot of my stuff in a trust, okay? I'm not one of them people, even though the government is my customer, I don't want them in my business at all, right? Because the government, you know, whatever, right? We just don't want nobody to be able to know too much, right? You need to keep some stuff close, right? Like your finances, your business, your the stuff that you are building with your legacy. You need to keep that stuff close, right? So protection, right? Trust, you know, making sure your business are being ran properly, you know, all that kind of stuff, right? So make sure that when it comes to marketing and when it comes to networking, you're not scared to get online, guys. I had that same issue. You know, I started my cleaning business almost 5 years ago, and I'm just now getting online. You know what I mean? So with my business, like I said, my biggest customer, I didn't need to look for that customer. They're on the internet already. I bid on the internet. I don't even have to see anybody when I go for government contractors. I don't have to meet anybody, unless sometimes I do have to meet. Like I bid it on one contract, and they did ask us to come and view the property. So sometimes that does happen, but majority of the time, you're just going to bid on a contract, sending your proposal, sending everything that you're going to do to make sure that the job is going to get done, so they can see that in writing. And if you win the bid, you win the bid. All right, that's it, right? And if you're not doing the work yourself, like me, I don't do the cleaning work myself anymore. I have somebody that I hire to do that. And so that takes me out of the business. But you see here, that took almost 5 or 6 years. All right. So this stuff takes time, guys. It's not going to happen right away. And the more you get into your business, the more you'll be able to scale your business. All right. But I do want to also emphasize that business is not something that is going to be an instant gratification. Right. This is something that we're building, a legacy. We want longevity. So when you come into this business, give yourself time, have grace for yourself and your business as well. Give it time to grow. You know, like Nipsey Hussle said, you know, you want to start where you at. Right? Work with what you got. You don't want to skip steps. Skipping steps will bring you right back down. So now you wasted your time, right? So it's best to just take the steps that you need to take. And if you're not ready to take the next step, then wait. But don't skip steps thinking that it's going to be a good thing for you, because it's not, especially in business, right? So make sure that you're not cutting any corners, all right? Don't try to cut any corners. It's not good with business at all. It's going to bite you in the rear. All right. So make sure you do things by the book. Right. And it's just like in life. You want people to treat you how you want to be treated. Right. So in business, you don't want to be out here, you know, doing nasty, shady business. All right. You don't want to be out here doing shady business. That's not going to be good for your name, your brand, or whatever you're trying to build. It ain't going to be good, because people are going to find out, and they're going to, it's going to be a problem. All right. So just stay out of the shady business. Stay out of the instant gratification. Give yourself time. Give yourself grace. Your business will grow, and in due time, you will see results, and it will be worth it. Okay. So just stay in there. Stay in there. All right. And like I said, with the finances, if you go and get funding from other places, this will allow you to stay in there longer. Right. So when you start getting them hits, you know what I mean? You got to be able to take them. You got to get up. Right. You got to be resilient in business. Okay. So failing to market the business, right? You need to have word of mouth. You need to have an online presence. You need to be okay with networking outside of the internet, okay? Because a lot of times what people don't realize is that making genuine connections allows your business to have longevity, right? People on the internet, they buy stuff, but they don't really know you. You're right. And as much as people would like to say that, you know, they make a lot of money, or, you know, they sell to a lot of people. When you're building a legacy, you want to have repeated customers. You want to have you want to build a loyal customer base. That's how you will be able to have this business work for you when you get old. or like I would like to do when I get old, my business be working for me, and also I'll be able to give this business to my children, or I'll be able to sell it if my children don't want to do the business, or they decide, you know, they don't want to do what mommy did. They can sell this business and create their own stream of income, right? But if I'm doing dirty work and I'm doing shady work and it just be mess. And you got to think about your family members, right? Because they will be left with all of that mess that you created. And I don't want that, right? So again, everybody do what they want to do, right? But you know, it's just going to be shady, and you know, you're not going to have much longevity if you're not building a loyal customer base. Besides people that just come and go, you know, they're just here for the second. Now you have to keep attracting customers because you're not able to retain the customers. All right. So guys, I learned this in sales. Okay. I learned this in sales, right? When I'm on the phone trying to sell insurance, or I'm on the phone trying to sell life insurance, you need to build a relationship with those people. You have to get to know those people. You need to be very in depth, and, you know, I don't want to say fake when you're having a conversation, but you need to seem interested in those people if you would like them to continue to pay you, right? Treat people how you want to be treated. If I have a service that I'm providing, or somebody has a service that they're providing to me, I would like them to, you know, be genuine and be authentic with me, right? And, you know, I would like people not to just treat me like a number or a dollar, or, you know, like a paycheck, right? I'm not going to come back and, you know, or you go to the Arab store and you spending your money with them and they be cussing you out. And no, I'm going to go to the other store where they not treating me like that, right? So that's how you got to look at your business. You have to make sure that your customer service is number one, guys. Customer service has to be number one. All right. Your customer service is not number one. It is going to be very hard for you to retain your customers. All right. It's one thing for you to gain customers, but if you're in business and you're in sales, you need to be able to retain customers. Everything is about being able to build a loyal customer base and have customers that are loyal. Right. We want a business that we don't have to keep marketing. We don't have to keep going and finding people. Right. Build a loyal customer base, and you do that, again, by being in person, right? Being in person. Sometimes it works over the phone. I sold a lot of insurance over the phone, right? That's fine. But next month, those customers drop off. Or the month after that, those customers drop off. The people that I went to their house and I sat down with them and they told me about their situations and I got to know them, those customers are still my customers, right? They also send me referrals, right? So I sold life insurance to one lady. She sent me 3 people. You see what I'm saying? And it was because I wasn't just on the phone with her. I came to her house. I sat down with her. I did an entire session, and that's how I sold their life insurance policy. They're still paying me. You see? So you want to be able to build a loyal customer base. And that's why I say marketing in person is all better for you to retain loyal customers more so than the online. You do need both, right? You need both. I'm not saying you don't need both, but what I'm saying is you will retain more loyal customers by word of mouth and by doing the 10 toes down and getting out here and networking. All right. So that's one thing, right? Another thing is making sure that, you know, you get comfortable with yourself, right? Because before I had to learn, my mentors taught me this, and I had to go through stage fright. When I did my first presentation for Grant, I did my first presentation, I was so scared, y'all. Like, I was scared. I was, you know, everybody, you see everybody get up there, and, you know, I think I was second to last. I think I was like second to last before I went up there. But my mentor at the time was like, girl, you got this. Like, what you mean you scared? Like, but on the inside, I was scared, you know, and I told her, like, you know, I'm just really nervous. You know, I've never had to get on stage and talk in front of a whole bunch of people and present my business. And, you know, that does cause a lot of anxiety, guys. So you do need to get comfortable with presenting yourself, with selling yourself in person. You need to get comfortable with being a business owner, right? So that comes with it, guys. You gotta put yourself out there. You know, I'm not saying that you necessarily have to, you know, look for we're not trying to be famous, right? But we are trying to be comfortable with presenting our business and presenting ourselves when it's needed. Okay? When you need to market your business, when you're trying to go for grants, all that stuff. So as you get into business, you will need to you know, understand how to communicate with people in person and stuff like that, right? So that's all I wanted to go over today, guys. And you know, the solution and all of that, go ahead and grab my ebook. I created the ebook, guys. All of this stuff in the ebook is amazing. Okay, I'm giving you guys all the tea. And I'm not just talking about, oh, I'm gonna tell you step by step how to get an LLC. That's basic stuff. I'm giving y'all actual links and resources so that you can get this stuff done. You don't have to go figure out, oh, well, I need a CRM. Where I go get that from? I got the link in I have the link in the ebook for you to go and get a CRM. You need an accountant. I got the link in the ebook, plenty of links in ebooks for you to go get an accountant. You're looking for a loan. I got the loans in there. You're looking for a grant. I got the grants in there. All right. You're looking for credit. I got the credits. Y'all, I got good stuff in there for credit. I got a lot of good connects for credit. Even ways for you guys to get authorized users. Those people that are, let's say you're like a 580 or you just a little bit under that 7, right? Like a 650. I got the hookup on there for y'all to be able to go and get authorized users. Authorized users with 20 to 15 to 10 years worth of good standing credit that will allow you to get your credit in place so you can start your business. All right? So, guys, get the ebook. I also have in the ebook, what else I got in there? Oh, different tips. So, say, for instance, you don't even know what you want to start with your business. I got an entire list of different businesses that can start for under $1,000, guys. It's all in the ebook. And not just start giving you a business and say, oh, go start a cleaning business. I'm giving you detail, very much detail, step by step of what you need to have and everything for you to start your business. Okay? So, guys, get the ebook. All right? The ebook is very worth it. Okay? I spent a lot of time on this ebook. I put a lot of my knowledge into this ebook, you know, and I'm not like these other people out here that's reselling something. I created my own ebook, guys. That took a lot of time and effort. Okay? And so don't think that you're going to get something that's not worth it. It's going to be worth it. I'm cutting out all the research for you. Okay? I'm cutting out a lot of the time that you're going to spend just by you getting this ebook. And it's not expensive, guys. It's not expensive. The price will be going up because I will be adding things to the ebook as we progress and as I learn more. I will be adding like stocks. I'm working on stocks right now. I'm working on trading. So everything that I'm learning, I will be adding to the ebook, and I will be adding more ebooks. Okay. So go ahead and click the link in my bio and go ahead and grab that ebook, guys. And if you don't want to grab the ebook, I'll be here every day, same time, giving you gems, dropping you gems, and helping you to start your business and get going, guys. Okay. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for being here with me. And I hope you guys can use this information. Okay. Use the information. If you don't do nothing else, go do it. All right. No more procrastination. No more excuses. Okay. Go do it. All right. And I'm giving you the blueprint to go do it. So make it happen, y'all. Peace out.